Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen. As per usual, I've tried to fit way too much. I have 30 slides, but I'm a fast talker. So hopefully this will all work out because I respect everyone's time. So thank you so much. I'm really going to be, and I loved the previous speakers too. I'm just going to be talking a little bit more about the context of social media as like the platforms that these conversations are happening on. And I kind of added some more objectives. So we're going to identify the benefits and some of the downsides of social media for, health education for health patients, especially those in chronic pain, and then also see the benefits of social media. And social media includes YouTube, by the way, for providers to actually learn from patients as well in the comments. Like Dr. Ferland said, the comment sections are so rich on these videos. And we're also going to see how social media conversations can show providers the gaps in patient knowledge, because they're going to social media to talk to others to figure out the gaps. So I'm going to show just very briefly my personal and professional life blends a lot, but yeah, I first was just a volunteer in the United States at the Arthritis Foundation to talk about life hacks, and everyone was so enthusiastic. And to me, this was like stuff I learned in my first year in occupational therapy school. And I thought, where's this gap coming from? Like, people seem to really need this information. They're hungry for more practical tips. And these are also really easy to demonstrate and really fun. So like with the previous two speakers, I became very intoxicated with this idea I became intoxicated by the idea of being able to share my personal and professional life hacks with like a larger audience. So I have, just a quick example of demonstrating a device. Oops, hold on a second. Oh no, I'm going the wrong direction. There we go. Oh, my video cannot be loaded. Okay, that's okay. There's other videos. We just tried this a few minutes ago and it worked. Maybe it got taken down. But this was me showing an Unbuckle Me car seat buckling aid device. So, a lot of people just say, wow, I never heard of that. And then, I'm sharing it for rheumatoid arthritis. And then in the comments you hear, oh, people with multiple sclerosis are excited about it. And then I started showing oh no, they're all saying they can't be loaded. That's okay. A quick video of me kind of dancing around and showing myself using a paraffin hot wax bath to a Kelly Clarkson song, and again, so I was just trying to make it entertaining at first, but what a lot of people ended up commenting and saying, like, it's great to see somebody who's not ashamed to use these things. I guess not many people are ashamed specifically of a paraffin bath, but like using my compression gloves, and refusing to kind of let that bring me down emotionally. So it's also normalizing medications while just very casually, hey, here's how I do, here's how I protect my thumbs when I do my methotrexate injections. Can you see this? Oops, where'd the chat go? Here, let me do it. Can you, sorry, I put the chat away. If anyone could let me know if you could hear that. You see it? Oh, good. Okay. So there you can see me. It's party time, Saturday night, doing my injection. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man. So I'm showing how I use my palm of my hand to depress the syringe, rather than using my thumb, or the top tip of my thumb, which is great for like joint protection. It's a way to make this really boring topic, I'm sorry, but I find it boring, of joint protection into something more entertaining. So now I'm also going to say that basically things might start, like the conversation might start with just something that I'm posting that's a little bit humorous. So, or a little bit just simple, like, oh, I'm showing a salt grinder. Here's the salt grinder. Different arthritis friendly salt grinders. This is like one of them you have to press with your finger. The other one you just twist it over. And then someone says, oh my gosh, I was just diagnosed in January. I've been having hand pain every day. Does it get better, or is this my life now? Like, that's the kind of like depth that people are sharing on social media, it's powerful, but it also can lead to like burnout. I mean, I don't know how providers like Dr. Ferlin do it, who have so many millions of views, because I can barely keep up, and I have like 10,000 followers. So she's incredible, having millions of views. And we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But, humor, I'm a big fan of humor as a coping mechanism, and this isn't just for healthcare, but like, gallows humor has been used in lots of different settings of, traumatic setting. But, I was using this video. Okay. We do have to look at this one really quick because it's so funny. The audio.
Leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. All the leaves are brown. I've been for a walk. All the leaves are brown. On a winter's day. All the leaves are brown.
It's great. If you have no shame, it's very fun. But no, so I was showing this, how it's funny, but it's also like, it can be frustrating after a while, for you're trying to explain your condition to people and they're just not getting it. And so, you can use humor as a way to kind of connect with others through that experience. I'm going to click to the next one. And then, people just supporting each other in the comments is just another one of the benefits of social media, and health education on social media specifically. But as we're going to explore in a moment, there's pros and there's cons. But the other thing I just want to point to is that it's really powerful when you live with an invisible condition like chronic pain, is invisible for the most part, or rheumatic diseases like what I have. You can use visuals and use social media to share in a way that makes people feel seen. And that's just so important for mental health, right? And feel not alone, like someone, and I just wrote a little caption on here on World Arthritis Day, and someone's like, my RA has affected my life beyond joint pain in the same ways you talk about. It's so nice to find an account that talks to all the realities of living with RA. And what's funny is when I first put these out, these were just my medications for a year. I actually thought, this doesn't even look like that many. Like, it becomes so normalized to you that you don't realize how powerful it is. And so, yeah, there's just some more examples of this. And what you don't see, there's been a lot of just kind of very organic campaigns on social media from patients, by patients for patients as well. And I think this person is also a health provider. He was showing he is a diagnostic radiographer, bachelor's and master's degree. He looks healthy, but then what you don't see is that he has Crohn's. And I find these personally extremely powerful, just as an educational tool for myself, as an occupational therapist and as a provider. So I already kind of demonstrated some of the good, those are just anecdotes, but, there's a systematic review of systematic reviews, which I always find very meta and fun, found, some of the recurring themes for benefits of social media were, not surprisingly, improved sense of social connectedness, ability to provide psychosocial support, and actually supporting each other with health management. Dr. Ferlin mentioned her video about, exercising. I think a lot of people honestly use social media as accountability for their self-management and lifestyle goals like nutrition, exercise, sleep and rest, and stress management, like mindfulness practices. You kind of show off what you're doing, and it kind of gives you that positive feedback. And then knowledge acquisition, just there's so many people are just not given very much information in their medical appointments. And 88% of that systematic reviews found some positive impacts of social media. So I mean, now in 2022, I don't believe many people are like, we should take away social media. For a while, people were like, it's terrible, but there are definitely downsides, which we're going to explore too. But these studies showed major improvements in patient engagement upon using social media. There's this interesting article on basically physical therapy 2.0, talking about, again, specifically using social media as a form for health education. So, and I just want to point out that for providers, I mean, I find this very powerful, to see when people comment and ask you questions, it tells you what they don't know and what they want to know and need to know, right? So I was shocked when I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I shared a video about remission, and then people kept being like, what's remission? Like, I don't even know. And that's like, they should know that. Like, you should understand that that's supposed to be the target for rheumatoid arthritis, is reaching remission. And they don't even know what it is or that it's possible. So again, it's a self-selected population on social media. So I have to remind myself of that. It's not necessarily representative, but still it's humbling and it's helpful to see what they're searching, because then I can tell you where the gaps are. Just hit myself with my mouse. So I made a little video based on just literally bringing some of these, again, kind of boring, potentially to like ADHD people like me, boring like articles to life by just narrating them and maybe dancing around to them. Also, yeah, again, you can see these examples of where your patients are needing more support. And this is an ethical dilemma I find interesting, but is it okay to lurk in patient communities as a health provider? I personally think it's unethical to join explicitly patient-only communities. These are typically on Facebook. Like, I think that's wrong to do that. But if you want to peruse the hashtags related to the illnesses you treat on the public forums, I think that's fine, but we can have a debate on that later. I mean, and then the bad. So how social media can bring harm. I made this little graphic, everyone who has the same diagnosis I do, and then everyone on social media, like I said, mentioned earlier, it's a smaller sample. It's not representative necessarily, as I think we've probably all seen during the pandemic, especially. Social media makes it very easy to disseminate inaccurate information quickly. It makes it easy to join an echo chamber. So you're only hearing the same information over and over again. We see that a lot with, vaccination conversations, algorithm-driven filter bubbles that selectively display information based on user preferences. Again, so if you're saying, I'm scared of medications, this is the one I see a lot with rheumatoid arthritis. I'm scared of medications. I want to fight this naturally. And then they go down these rabbit holes of these false cures. And it's just, can be very damaging, because then later those things don't work, and then they've lost that critical window of early aggressive treatment for rheumatic disease specifically. And then it's just difficult. I still find it difficult distinguishing between valid and non-valid information. And here's just one example. Honestly, I have this like really depressing folder on my phone where I keep all these like suspicious claims, like this person, I did put, even though it's all public, I didn't want to defame them or whatnot, but they're like, I healed RA with no meds. You can too. Like, red flag. But a lot of patients don't know, they don't have that health literacy to understand that that's not a good claim. And of course, patient privacy, there's tons of stories about this, and you can, potential negative impacts on the patient's mental health. Moods are contagious. We read a bunch of scary stories, you feel worse. And cyberbullying is possible. And these are examples from a friend of mine, Eileen, a very amazing advocate in rheumatoid arthritis advocate in Vancouver, talking about, I get lots of troll comments too, and I just don't care because I'm 41 now. But the phenomenon of context collapse is when, and I'm so guilty of this, I just don't even know. I need, to just talk to my therapist about it. But yeah, everything overlaps. Like, where am I? Who am I? I live on the internet and in my real life, and it's confusing and overwhelming. So I know I'm on my time, so I'm just going to say that this is there for your reference. There are for providers best practices. This is a thing from the American Academy of Professionals, Chen et al. 2020, just talking about things to keep in mind if you are going to become active on social media as a health professional. But I'll stop now for the sake of time. Thank you all.